What is going on in the NBA this year? With half-court heaves at the buzzer, teams erasing 20-point deficits in the final quarter, and back-to-back game winners deciding fates for teams like the Lakers. Is this truly just a wild fluke, or is something bigger at play? It feels like a non-stop roller coaster, right? If you're wondering how these chaotic moments became the norm, we're diving into the specific plays. More importantly, we'll connect the dots to understand the pattern of chaos defining the 2025 NBA playoffs, and some surprising numbers might just explain it all. So you have watched the incredible shots, the buzzer beaters, the wild finishes, but just how strange is this 2025 NBA playoff run? When you look at history, are we just remembering the exciting parts, or is something truly different happening in the league this year? We need to look into the numbers. These numbers help tell the story of this season's playoff madness. The NBA playoffs always bring intensity. Games are tough and players give their all, but 2025 feels like it is operating on a completely new level of unpredictability. Something seems to have shifted. It's easy to see a few close games and think it's normal. Close games do happen in the playoffs, but the sheer number of huge comebacks is notable. The frequency of games decided at the very last second this year is making people wonder, is this a new trend that will continue? Or is it just a statistical oddity, a blip that we won't see again for a while? The data starts to paint a very clear picture. One of the first things that stands out is home court advantage, or rather, the lack of it. In the second round of these 2025 playoffs, home teams have won only 31.3% of their games. Think about that. Teams playing in their own arenas in front of their own fans are losing much more often than they are winning. This percentage, 31.3%, is not just low, it is historically low. It is on track to be the worst winning percentage for home teams in any second round since 1984. That was the year the NBA playoffs expanded to the 16-team format we know today. This year also marks the only time since 1984 that home teams, as a group, have had a losing record in the second round. This detail shows how much home court advantage has seemingly disappeared. It's a significant shift in what we expect during playoff basketball, shaking up predictions for many series. And then there are the comebacks. Consider this carefully. The 2025 NBA playoffs have already recorded the most 20-point comeback wins in the entire history of the NBA for a single postseason. Let that sink in. More times this year than in any other single playoff run, teams have been down by 20 points or more and still found a way to win. That is not just exciting for fans, it is a statistically important fact. It tells us that the games are truly never over until the final buzzer. This is not a story about one or two miracle shots that happen by chance. It is a consistent pattern of unpredictability that has defined these playoffs. Teams are showing, night after night, that no lead, no matter how big, is truly safe. We are seeing underdogs, teams not expected to win, regularly defeating powerhouse opponents. This creates a thrilling environment for viewers. This trend of massive comebacks and disappearing home court advantage directly creates an atmosphere where game-winning shots are not just possible, they almost feel expected in every close contest. The pressure in the final minutes on every last possession is incredibly high. Every player knows the game can turn in an instant. This kind of environment is also perfect for producing clutch performances. When games are always on the line, players have more chances to step up and make a big play. We are seeing heroes made out of unexpected players. Players who might not have been stars before are getting their moment to shine because the games are so chaotic and open. This playoff chaos provides the stage. The evidence is becoming quite clear. The 2025 NBA season is not just giving us a few wild highlights. It is statistically one of the most unpredictable postseasons in recent memory. This is largely because of factors like that greatly reduced home court advantage we talked about. And of course, the record number of huge comebacks also plays a massive role. All of this sets the stage for constant drama and amazing finishes. Now that we understand this season is genuinely unusual from a statistical standpoint, let's look at how this widespread chaos and unpredictability directly affected one of the league's biggest and most watched franchises. Their story shows just how quickly things can change. You might see a team win a game on a last-second shot one night. Then just a few days later, that same team might lose on an even more unbelievable shot. For the Los Angeles Lakers in this 2025 season, this was not just a possibility, it was their harsh experience. The Lakers are a team that people always watch very closely, a franchise used to the brightest spotlights. They found themselves right in the middle of this season's wild unpredictability, experiencing 2 game endings, one right after the other, that nobody will soon forget. These games showed just how fast fortunes can change in the NBA today. First, there was a moment of pure joy for the Lakers and their fans. LeBron James, a player known for his history of making big plays in important moments, secured a victory against the Indiana Pacers. He did it with a tip-in shot just as the buzzer sounded to end the game. The ball dropped through the net and the Lakers won. It was a classic hero moment, the kind of play that legends are made of, and it sent the crowd into a frenzy. This win felt significant, a trademark LeBron clutch performance. But basketball can be unpredictable, and the celebration for Laker fans did not last very long. Their very next game was against the Chicago Bulls. This game delivered a shocking and complete reversal of what they had just experienced. It was a quick turn from the highest high to a very low low. The Bulls found themselves down by 18 points in the fourth quarter, a situation where many teams might give up, but Chicago started a furious rally, chipping away at the Lakers' lead. As the final seconds of the game ticked down, it looked like the Lakers might just manage to hold on and escape with a narrow win despite the Bulls' comeback. Then, the truly unthinkable happened in a few wild closing seconds. The Bulls were trailing 115 to 110 with only 12.6 seconds remaining on the game clock. Patrick Williams of the Bulls then made a huge 3-point shot. This basket cut the Lakers' lead down to just 2 points, making the score 115 to 113. On the very next play, the Lakers had the ball, attempting to inbound it safely. However, Josh Giddey of the Bulls made a critical defensive play. He stole the inbound pass from LeBron James. This steal gave the Bulls an unexpected extra possession. Following Giddey's steal, his teammate Kobe White sank a 3-pointer. Suddenly, the Bulls were ahead, 116 to 115 with a mere 6.1 seconds left. The Lakers quickly responded. Austin Reeves drove to the basket and made a layup, putting Los Angeles back in front, 117 to 116, with only 3.3 seconds remaining. It seemed like the Lakers had saved themselves again, but the Chicago Bulls had one final chance. Josh Giddey received the inbound pass. He took a single dribble to get himself past the half-court line. Then, with no time left to do anything else, he launched a long shot from well beyond the half-court stripe. The ball arced high through the air as the clock hit 0. Swish, it went straight through the net. The Bulls won the game 119 to 117. Giddey was mobbed by his teammates. This sequence of events, a team winning on a buzzer beater, and then, in their very next game, losing on a half-court buzzer beater, is something that happens very rarely in the NBA. It perfectly showed the high-stakes, incredibly unpredictable nature of these 2025 playoffs. After the game, Lakers coach J.J. Redick talked about the team's feeling. He said, "Hell of a way to lose a basketball game." His words clearly expressed the devastation that he and his team felt after such a dramatic last-second defeat, especially coming so soon after their own buzzer-beating win. The game-winning shot by Josh Giddey was a perfect example of a player taking control in a chaotic moment. It started with his quick steal, a high-risk, high-reward defensive play. Then he immediately understood how little time was left on the clock. Finally, he had the confidence to take and make a shot from such an improbable distance with the game on the line. Giddey's shot wasn't just a lucky heave. It was the final amazing play of a wild comeback by the Bulls, who had been down 18 points in that final quarter. His performance throughout the game was outstanding. He finished with 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. This was his 5th career triple-double, and according to basketballreference.com, he became the first player in NBA history to record a triple-double and hit a game-winning buzzer beater against the Lakers. It was a play that showed a defensive gamble paying off, and a young player completely unafraid to take a very difficult shot under immense pressure against one of the league's most famous teams. Bulls guard Kevin Huerter said it simply, "Craziest game of my life, probably." But the Lakers are not the only team experiencing this kind of emotional roller coaster this season. What about a team that seems to almost enjoy these kinds of impossible comeback situations? A team that appears to thrive when the odds are stacked against them. If there is one team that truly shows the never say die spirit of this 2025 NBA season, it is the Indiana Pacers. You watch them play, and you wonder, how are they pulling off these amazing escapes time after time? It seems like they specialize in these incredible turnarounds. The The Pacers have become well known for their dramatic comebacks. This is not something that happened just one time. They have done it multiple times, leaving their opponents and even their own fans completely stunned and wondering what they just saw. These are not just small comebacks. They are significant and memorable. Let's consider one specific game they played against the Cleveland Cavaliers. In that game, the Pacers found themselves down by a massive 20 points. This is a situation in basketball where most teams would probably start to think the game is over. They might begin to lose hope. NBA teams, when you look at the history of the league, are historically very bad when they are trailing by 7 or more points in the final minute of a game. The chances of winning from that position are incredibly small for almost any team. It's a deep hole to climb out of so late in a contest. Yet the Indiana Pacers in that game against Cleveland did not just make the score a little closer. They did not just make it respectable. They fought their way back, step by step, and eventually snatched an almost unbelievable victory from a situation that looked hopeless. And this performance was not an isolated incident for them. It was not the only time they have shown this ability. This has become a pattern for this Pacers team during this surprising season. Their resilience is remarkable. They have accomplished this amazing feat of erasing a 7-point or larger deficit in the final minute of a game and then going on to win twice this season. You have to understand how rare that is. The league average success rate in those specific high-pressure situations is tiny. Most teams fail almost every time they are in that spot. For the Pacers to do it twice shows something special about their makeup and their ability to execute when everything is on the line, when other teams might start to panic or make mistakes. At the very heart of these incredible comebacks for the Indiana Pacers is their star player, Tyrese Haliburton. His ability to stay calm when the pressure is at its highest is a key factor. He consistently makes clutch shots, those important baskets when the game is tight and the clock is winding down. Furthermore, he orchestrates the team's offense a lot of the time, especially in those chaotic final minutes of a game. His leadership and decision-making in these critical moments have been absolutely central to their success. Reports indicate he has been extraordinary in these situations this season. He is apparently 10 of 11 on shots that would either tie the game or give the Pacers the lead in the final 2 minutes of games. That kind of accuracy in high-leverage moments is very rare and shows his value. Interestingly, despite these performances, Tyrese Haliburton was recently voted by some of his peers, other players in the NBA, as the league's most overrated player. That is a strong label to receive from fellow professionals. However, Haliburton had a very direct response to this. After making a key game-tying shot in one contest, he reportedly posted a message online that simply said, "Overrate that." This shows he is aware of the criticism, but he seems determined to use it as motivation and prove his true value with his play on the court, especially when it matters most. So, the Pacers' success in overcoming these huge deficits, like that 20-point comeback against the Cleveland Cavaliers, is not just about good luck. It is clearly a testament to their overall team resilience. It speaks to Haliburton's clutch gene, that ability to perform when the pressure is intense. And it also points to a team system that allows them to execute their plays and stay focused under extreme pressure, at times when many other teams might crumble or fall apart. This consistent ability by the Pacers to perform so well in clutch situations directly feeds into the larger overall trend of unpredictable outcomes and thrilling game winners that we are seeing across the entire NBA this season. The examples are piling up. The primary factors causing this wave of buzzer beaters and wild comebacks likely include a few things. There is the heightened skill level of players in clutch moments. Players today are incredibly talented. There is also increased parity across the league, meaning more teams are competitive, which leads to more games being close down the stretch. And perhaps there is even a psychological element involved now. Teams might believe more strongly that comebacks are possible simply because they are seeing them happen more often. It creates a sense of belief. So, we have looked at the general chaos of the season. We have seen the individual heroic moments from players. We have talked about the comeback artists like the Pacers. What does all of this really mean for the NBA as it moves forward from this point? This 2025 NBA season, full of shocking buzzer beaters and wild comebacks, is more than a highlight reel. It signals a seismic shift where unpredictability becomes the new league normal. Indeed, no lead, whether substantial or slight, truly feels safe anymore. Moments like Josh Giddey's half-court miracle, or the Indiana Pacers consistently defying massive odds, vividly demonstrate how pure talent and bold belief can instantly rewrite outcomes. The playoffs now compel us to ask, who will be the next star to etch their name into this unforgettable NBA chapter? And what will this thrilling era of constant upheaval mean for the future of the game?